Thunderous with a Tornadus on the Landorus. Now get ready for this ugly piece of shit. Honestly, did anyone ask for a female version of the Jins? Is there like a Jin Rule 34 server I missed? Anyway, appearances aside, I wanted to check how good this one is. Granted, it has access to one of the most broken abilities, Contrary. Naturally, every Contrarian will learn Superpower, but there's a nifty little thing called Stellar Terra Blast, which lowers your offensive stats by 1. So in our case, it would raise them. Oh, did I mention that this Monsterian form is a fucking turtle for some reason? Point is, this combo sounds pretty good on paper. You keep shooting out a 100 base power move and get both offense stats to grow. What's not to like? Oh yeah, the way this thing looks. Here is the build. The problem that you will see me running into is that I could not play this mon correctly. So feel free to either bash me in the comments or send me a replay with you pulling it off well. But before we begin, here is a word from our sponsor, Coagulation. Tune in next week for another word from the sponsor. Alright, here we have a nifty little battle versus some bugs, which I say nice bugs, but I never hear back from them, so... But we have Bugs, the bunny, out, so yeah, that's kind of fun. Then we go into Almermeld and you get a little fucking nasty crit in our face. Thankfully not 2 in a row, so we're able to Thunder Punch and actually get a paralysis on this Goliathopod, who then pussies out, as they always do, you know. Here is Heracross, who will become a Mega Heracross, and he will go for a Swords Dance. And here Enamorous is putting the work of being Enamorous, so basically dying after doing good damage, but you know. So here's Qua Val, he's gonna just do the usual Wave Crash and get a Moxie Boost. Then they go into Galvantula. I know this is Sash, so they're probably gonna just go for electric stuff, but they don't. And I could have just kept doing what I was doing. This decided against it, so that cost us. But here is a you know, almost a trade, because he almost kills us. We almost kill him. So the Sash, he survives. And Cinderace is wearing the boots, so he doesn't care about any webs, none of that. The Goliathopod is back, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna Aqua Jet, right? You're gonna Aqua Jet me. You're gonna Drill Run, apparently. Drill Run critical hit. So this guy got 2 crits out of 3 moves on this Goliathopod. Pretty lucky him, I guess. We are Quaquaval versus a Genesect, and he is faster because of the webs. He's not faster. Cinderace, and we miss. And thankfully we survive and we hit, and I'm like, okay, this is enough. I tell him GG because I'm like, yeah, now I cannot really beat Paramosa, right? I mean, I don't know if I would have anyway because of the high jump kick, but and now I believe what happens now is a throw. Because look what he does, like, keeps just going for the rapid spin, which obviously does no damage. I don't even know why he doesn't go for anything else, but here it is. I keep doing some random damage with like body slam, body press, I mean, or the other move, and then we just trade like this for, you know, crazy amount of time. He gets another crit, yet another crit. So he is at 3.5 speed. I go into Ting Lu and I fire off a Ruination, I believe, and he goes into the Pheromosa actually, which is huge. And then again he goes for Quiver Dance, which is even more huge, and I'm like, okay, well, now I don't mind. I'm gonna win now because you did this. So he's obviously pretty high up, but I don't care because I'm sucker punching here. And that's that. And unless he unless I miss the pyro, yeah, I don't. So that's a GG. Next up we have this guy with some fire types. Let's check this shit out. There's a Quaquaval, of course, because I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I? I just do that and immediately claim my first life. And he says GG's. Then I do that again and claim my second life because of the +1 attack. I believe we are able to do that. Then there's this Skeldirge, and I'm like, oh, I forgot, this guy doesn't care, so he just goes for a Slag. He doesn't kill me here, which maybe he should have, but it's fine. He goes for Slag Off again, thinking I'm just gonna, you know, let my main sweeper here die, but of course I won't, so here's a Ruination. I know he has Slack Off, but so what, right? He goes for a Torch Song, gets a critical hit, by the way. Go for some rocks. We both get our leftovers, but I am burned, of course. Here's another Torch Song, very good move, but we'll say goodbye to that for now. Here's Tinglu gets a, Cinderace, and Tinglu gets a jump kick to the face. So I go into my boy, you know, here my boy, here's my boy, and my boy takes live number 3, or life rather, number 3, but also, yeah, sacrifices himself in return. So here there's 2 Cinderaces, and I decided to go for U-turn into the Melmetal. I know how it sounds, but I was kind of expecting him to just course change, which he did. And then I jump kicked, and I actually kind of did not realize that that is what happened here with the Libero. I should have gone for a double Iron Bash or even body press, but I didn't. And also he gets a crit, so you know, you get double punished. But yeah, so now we just fire off Pyro Balls left and right and start doing shit. And now I course change back to his side, and he goes for a slack off. I'm like, okay, well, let's U-turn. Let's use our Enamorous, the star of the show, who already took 40, and he's not looking too great. The guy asks what that gonna do, and I sell her and I fire off my Draco Meteor looking thing. And guess what? Enamorous dies. Yeah, that's a great one. But here's Cinderace and Pyro Ball, critical hit actually. Finally something for me. And then of course we clean up from there. Because if it wasn't a crit and he was able to keep surviving my attacks, then that would have been it. But we get lucky in the very last moment, and that's pretty cool. Now, this one's cool, but I'm gonna probably skip some turns because, you know, this is a team where they try to set up the Basco Legion. But honestly, cool idea. I don't think, I mean, I've done it before. I've done it as a calculation, right, of the level 2 Basco Legion versus level 100 Hoopa, or whatever it was. But the thing is, if you're running a team like that, first of all, what the fuck is this Bidoof doing? Like, what's the point of the Bidoof? And number 2, you cannot just start firing over Last Respects if your opponent has either a normal type or Sucker Punches, right? You need to get rid of all these threats first. Or threats, I mean these checks, honestly. These checks to your Pokemon. So Enamorous again bites the dust, like... The first Pokemon to die on this battlefield is Enamorous. I think I'm just playing it poorly, but it seems to just suck, honestly. I mean, yeah, anyway, here's our first kill. Or sorry, second kill with Melmetal. And then he'll do these things, and then Revival Blessing, and then, you know, he'll do it again, and blah, 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 blah. Doesn't really matter, right? Like, as I said, he can do all of this. And then as soon as he goes into Basco Legion, I just go into my normal type, and he has to forfeit. Honestly, I'll just skip through all of this, because as I said, here's the Bidoof that basically just used Protect, and then Thunder Wave. And then he goes Basco Legion, you know, goes Last Respects. I'm like, oh no, it's a pretty strong Last Respects. But first of all, I just Wave Crash to do 70, because I'm faster. And he does that, I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do now? And he does that, and I Grass Knot, and I win. Because, yeah, lesson learned, if you're trying this team, please make sure you cover your normal types. Put a fighting type instead of Bidoof or something, I don't know. Okay, last match is actually kind of fantastic, because look at this fucking team. Holly 7777 brought out pretty much the roster of strong Pokemon, so let's see if my goofy ass team can beat it, but you can probably assume. So here's Tinglu versus Yveltal. I always forget that this thing carries Taunt, and I go for that, but I think it's fine. It doesn't really matter, because I just go for Ruination here. Still does quite a little bit of damage to this guy. So now I go Melmetal, thinking, yeah, Oblivion Wing won't hurt too much. I am a V2, because I do be like that. So he goes to Groudon. I was debating Earthquake, but I thought, well, if he doesn't go into Groudon and I just lose all that damage, like, was it really worth it? I mean, I'm just gonna bring out this guy anyway. Goes for a Heat Crash, does nothing, because well, I am like really defensive on this thing. I have no idea what it does. I just put Rocks, Spikes, and Whirlwind Ruination on it, by the way. But I don't know how you're supposed to play it. But here is our Rocks, here is our Spikes. And then he goes for a Swords Dance. I'm like, lol. Goodbye. So here's a Mewtwo, and I am thinking, okay, if this is the Enamorous game. Hopefully it's Enamorous game. And we go for Ruination. The Mewtwo's Ice Beam did surprisingly little, I must say. I don't know why. It did very, very little. Here's a Whirlwind again on the Mewtwo after his nasty pot. And then Dynamax Cannon also did surprisingly little. I mean, I am bulky, but I am mostly defensively bulky. I'm not sure why it keeps doing so little, but finally Tinglu goes down, and here's Quaquaval, and I go for Ice Spinner. I keep forgetting that Ice Spinner is not rapid spin type thing, it's just for like the rain or something. But he goes into the Zacian now, of course, so we counter with Melmetal. He goes for the SD, and then he turns into Ground type and Terra Blasts and gets rid of us. So that's kind of a problem, but not long of a problem because we just Wave Crash. And that's dead. If he went to Groudon, we could have been in slightly problematic state, but he was. I knew that he would be too greedy, you know, with the +2. So that was fine. So here we go for that. I thought he was gonna Precipice Place. He didn't, but I mean that's fair. We go for Superpower, and we still die to a Heat Crash. Like again, Enamorous fucking sucks ass. This Pokemon is really bad. I mean, it is versus a Primal Groudon in the sun, but anyway, here's a Jump Kick that gets rid of that. Here is a Mega Mewtwo, and it takes a Sucker Punch to the face. So far we're looking pretty good, not gonna lie, because this Pyro Ball should be, yeah, getting rid of the Yveltal. And now we are just versus an Arceus, and it's a normal Arceus. Goes for extreme speed, does a lot of damage, but we land our Jump Kick, and we win versus this full UBERS, top UBERS team with our janky shit. And guess what? Enamorous was the worst guy. I mean, maybe except Arboliva, who just died, but it's because I just misread my opponent. But shout out to Tinglu, shout out to Cinderace, and to Quaquaval instead of the star of this episode, apparently. Pretty crappy mon. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, maybe. I hope. Bye.